Okay, hey, what's up guys? It's me, Ali, Alicia, whatever you guys call me. Welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you guys can't hear that too bad. Someone's doing construction work outside. I'm still gonna record my video anyway. So today I have a story time for you guys of why I quit my high-end luxury retail job back in March. So first disclaimer is that this is all alleged. He said, she said. Don't forget, there's always two sides to every story. So I'm just telling you guys my story from my point of view. I will be changing everyone's names. I will not be using any names. I will not be saying where I work. If you somehow know where I work or figured out where I work, or if you find where I work, where I used to work, please do not mention it in this video, in the comments or anything. I know I have it posted somewhere where I used to work and everything, but if you find it, please do not mention it, because it's not the company that was bad. It was the people that I was working with. They were extremely toxic and probably the worst coworkers I have ever had. So I wanted to do a story time for you guys today. So I have things written down so I don't forget things. I probably still forgot things, but yeah, so I know I've talked about it before that I quit my job and everything, but I don't think I really went into depth and detail with like the different things, reasons that went into why I quit. So first we're going to introduce everyone. So first is A. He had 5 Instagram accounts. He's basically a sugar baby, but I think he's married. That's loud. He blocked me on Instagram when they all went to the beach together. And he also told me the next day after he blocked me on Instagram, sorry, you were jealous about me. So I don't have a direct like timeline of when all of these things happened. So I'm just gonna like talk about all this stuff. And then he also said that I was a tryhard and a goody two shoes, and he always talked crap behind my back. He would pretend that he's like the most friendly person ever, but he would steal my customers. He would talk crap about me behind my back, and I would know this because my other coworkers would tell me. But the work environment that I was in was very toxic. Everybody would talk bad about each other. So next we have B. She would always dye her hair. I'm not going to say what specific color, but she would always dye her hair. She was a wannabe person. She was rude to me, and she specifically recommended a purple shampoo to me that would damage my hair. Like, she did it on purpose, my other coworker told me. So when she found out I was a YouTuber, that I have my YouTube channel, she wanted to be friends. But then when she found out I only had about 1,000 subscribers, she decided she wanted to not be friends anymore and drop me, and said I wasn't a real YouTuber since I didn't have like 50,000, 100,000 subscribers. She would show up late to work all the time, 30, 45 minutes, an hour late, but then she would change her time card by her, like, so we were in charge of our own time cards. If we forgot to clock in, we could change it ourselves, which I think is an absolutely ridiculous system, because she would show up half an hour, 45 minutes, hour late, and then she would change her time card saying that she showed up on time, and she would tell the boss that she just forgot to clock in when she came in, and our boss would never come out to check if everyone was here on time. Let's see. She once showed up to work late with another coworker because they were doing nails before work. So they both showed up about 45 minutes to an hour late because they were doing nails. They did not get in trouble for that. And like A, B would always talk shit behind my back. So C, she told me I better watch my back for talking shit. I'm not gonna lie, I did say a few things to one of my coworkers, but it wasn't anything too bad or anything. It was just, you know how you complain about coworkers once in a while, like, oh, I can't believe so-and-so did this or whatever, or like, why did she say this to me? That was pretty rude. And she would leave in the middle of her shifts for up to half an hour at a time, and then would say, if I've been gone for this long, just tell the boss I went on my break. She would do that constantly, and she would always talk to me like, I thought we were like coworker friends, so I kind of opened up about my life and everything. I thought we were good, but C would say whatever shit. I want to take that out. Whatever things that I would say and tell everyone else and everything. I shortly learned that she was not to be trusted. And then C hung out with B all the time, but they would both talk crap behind each other's back, C would talk about how much she hated B and how annoying she was and everything, yet they would still hang out and they were still friends and everything. And I thought that was kind of weird and ridiculous. And then there's D. So D, she's basically deaf, but she was nice to me at first. D absolutely hated A. A hated D. She talked crap about absolutely everyone in the workplace. A, B, C, D, E. Every single coworker, she hated everyone. She had a personal vendetta out for every single person. She tried to get me to go and report other coworkers from different departments for her, which I didn't do because I didn't want to get involved in that. She hates her own daughter, but wanted B to be her adopted daughter. So B isn't from here. She moved from a different country, but she acts like she owns the place and everything. And D kept constantly trying to get me to quit, saying like, it's not worth it here, you shouldn't be here, you're worth so much more than this. But it wasn't her trying to say that I was actually worth so much more than that. She's worried that when new people come in that she's going to lose her job because she can't hear. She would have me answer phones for her, and she would give me the sales, and she would complain to another coworker that I stole her sales and everything when I really did not. It's because if I do the work for the sales, it's my sale. If you can't answer the phone, that's your own freaking problem, and maybe you should find a different job if you can't hear when you answer the phone. Like, the workplace installed a hard of hearing phone for her and everything, and she still couldn't hear. So then there's A, B, C, D, E. There's E. Oh. We'll call her, we'll call her F. I honestly have nothing bad to say about her. She was really nice to me. If she ever talks bad behind my back, I understand, because I would complain a lot to her and everything. I would confide in her because all of my other coworkers were basically always bullying and harassing me and everything. And I'm not sure if she watches these videos or if she figures everything out that I'm talking about, but I really did like her because I thought that she did care about me, and I am planning on going back to visiting her and everything. But she was cool and everything, very nice, agreed with me on a lot of things, and I don't think it was just to agree to get me to stop talking. She had her moods like everyone else, like I have my moods and everything, but she was honestly like my favorite person to work with. And then there was this other guy, the HR manager. So the day that I turned in my 2 weeks, he was drunk or hungover at work because he just got the news that he was being promoted to general manager at another store. And I thought that was absolutely ridiculous and irresponsible, showing up to work hungover, still drunk. Like, I understand that everyone has done it at least once in their lives or multiple times, especially if you work in the food service industry. I used to show up to work like drunk and hungover. Sorry, Mom. But he didn't process my 2 weeks till a month after I submitted it, and I also said I wanted to retract it, but no one bothered to tell me that the company that we worked for did not accept retracted notices unless that was just a complete lie. But he did not process it till over a month later, and I did not get paid for 2 weeks for working there. And that is probably the thing that I am most mad about. So going back to A, just talking in circles now, but this is my story time. It doesn't really have a timeline or anything. But going back to A, he had originally told me that he had a place that I could move into if I wanted to, and I thought that was pretty cool. But let's get more into, like, so A, B, C went to the beach together. They didn't invite me. I could care less about it. But then, like I said, after they went to the beach, they blocked me on Instagram. So I can only assume, this is just an assumption, that they were all talking bad about me, which is fine. Everyone can talk bad if they want. I know who I am. I know what my values are. I know where I stand. And I'm always as honest as possible as I can be. I don't try to create burned bridges with people, but I have a really big feeling that they're talking bad about me because that very day, B blocked me on Instagram, and then the next day, or like a few hours later, A blocked me on all 5 of his accounts, and then the next day when he came back into work, he said, I blocked you because you were jealous of me, and I'm sorry you're jealous of me. So I came to the assumption or conclusion that they all think that I'm jealous of them, which I'm absolutely not. For one thing, you're like a 50-year-old man who's married to someone who's like 74 years old or something. And while age is just a number, I think that you're just a sugar baby because he owns real estate and he's rich and everything from my knowledge, and it seems like you're only with him for his money from what you told me. And then A and B kept constantly talking about how they were at the beach together. They went on like a triple date and everything, or double date or whatever, and that they had the time of their lives and it was so fun. And I honestly don't like hanging out with coworkers outside of work, so it didn't bother me that they were all at the beach together, but it bothered me that they kept talking about it like they were trying to make me jealous, and all I wanted them to do was just shut up, because I was like, I could care less that you guys went to the beach. Can you guys just stop talking and do your work and everything? So that was the next day, like when they came back from the beach, because they were all off on the same day. That was when C came up to me and told me that I better watch my back, but she still wanted to be friends with me. I was kind of livid when she told me that I better watch my back, because it's just like, I wasn't saying anything really too bad. It was more like I would tell, I forgot what letter I used for the other person, F or whatever, that like, can she just stop talking for like 10 minutes so we can do our work or whatever? Because they would all just constantly talk and talk and talk and talk. But then for some reason I would get in trouble from our manager. Oh my gosh, our manager was like the nicest person ever, but everyone would talk crap about him. Like, he was a little hyperactive and everything, but it wasn't like he was really rude or degrading. He was honestly the best boss I've ever had. I've worked at an elementary school, I've worked at 3 restaurants, I worked at a hotel, and I worked there, and I did house sitting, and he was honestly the best boss that I've ever had. So I don't know why everyone hated him so much. Like, he was a little overbearing, but I could see why he was overbearing, because nobody would do their work. Everyone would just sit around and talk and everything. I forgot where I was. D had a personal vendetta for F. She was trying to get her fired, but since she couldn't get her fired, she would talk crap about her to me, and she tried to get me to report, D tried to get me to report F to our manager in HR, which I really didn't want to. In all honesty, like, it was basically all like 4 of them against me and the other person, and it was just ridiculous. Sorry, this isn't really a story time. It's just me talking about like why I quit my job, or like why it was so toxic. But I quit my job because I couldn't take it anymore being kind of bullied and harassed at work, and I had talked about it with my manager. And well, originally I didn't tell him why I was quitting. I said it was for personal reasons, which it kind of was. I didn't want to be in such a toxic work environment, but eventually I did tell him that like they're really drama and toxic and everything, and he's like, yeah, I know they are, but you should just stick it out and everything. But unfortunately, right after I gave him my 2 weeks notice, he got laid off. I gotta cut that out. The company went bankrupt and everything, so they had to lay people off and everything. This was right around when the pandemic was starting to. The manager, the assistant manager got laid off. The manager in other departments got laid off too. And it was just a whole thing. And yeah, I don't know if I should use this video. So that was like a short story time. It wasn't really a story time, just me talking in circles. But if you guys have any questions, please comment them down below and I'll try my best to answer them. But I just wanted to make it a little bit more clear as to why I quit my job. There was more things that happened that I just can't think of off the back, but it felt really like they were making things really personal at work and everything. And they made it obvious that I was not wanted there. And they were talking about how like, oh, oh my God, there was this other person that worked there too. I understand why she was so cold towards everyone at this point. They bullied her too, to the point where she quit and she went back to her old job. And at first, I was like, oh, I don't like her either, just because everyone else didn't like her. I wanted to fit in and everything. But after she quit, I completely realized that how they were treating her, because they started treating me like that. They just wanted to be their own little clique. They didn't want me there. And it was it's just crazy, like, that they were like trying that hard to get one person after another to quit. And if one day I ever see the person again who quit, I am going to tell her that I am sorry for, like, even thinking that you were a bad person. I just wouldn't talk to her. I wouldn't say anything bad about her. I just wouldn't talk to her because my other coworkers said not to. Or like when I did talk to her, my other coworkers would get really mad at me, and I just didn't want to be harassed at work, so I just wouldn't talk to her and everything. But I do truly feel sorry for her, because I was put in her position after she left because they had no one else to bully or create drama with. And yeah, I think I'm kind of done talking for today. So hopefully this video wasn't like in too many circles, but I'll answer any questions if you guys have any questions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more videos of mine in the future. I promise I'll get better at telling stories in the future, but this one just didn't really have any timelines, because it was just like one harassment after another. And like, I know it doesn't sound like a lot that happened, but I promise you guys a lot more has happened than I have said. But it was still a lot that happened in this short amount of time. But anyways, I'm gonna stop talking now. Hopefully you guys have a great day. I have my tonsillectomy in 2 days, so I will see you guys again tomorrow for another vlog.